So, grand rising, everyone. Hope you're all doing okay. Hope you're fine and everything is going as planned. This is Denzamos, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empires free. If you're new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality. I talk about personal and self-development. And if that's what resonates with you, I invite you all to join us. Please give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. You are going to experience something they call, or I call, I don't know, is called the void. The void is the emptiness, is that place where you feel you're lost. The best way I can explain this, let's say, for example, you have applied for work. So you've been jobless for some time, and then you applied for work. And then it's like you're waiting. You know, you have put some applications there, you're waiting, nothing is happening. You know that you're going to get a job somewhere. You have done so send out a few applications. So you're in that space which is in the middle. You're in the middle. You already understand where you have already been. You know the kind of job you used to do. But you don't know yet the kind of job you're meant to do. Or even if you know what type of job you're going to do, you don't know how it's going to be, because there's going to be different type of people. It's going to be different experience. It's going to be different office, maybe a different company. So that feeling, it can get intense. It can get exciting a little bit. Sometimes you're intense. You don't know what to expect. That void happens somewhere along your spiritual journey. And the void also normally happens during the isolation, when you're in isolation. So that is when you start to feel very empty. So I've had a question one time, and somebody told me, why do I feel empty? After doing all this work, I've been on this journey, and I've been doing a lot of work on myself. Why am I starting to feel empty? The reason why you are feeling empty is because you've been doing so much work on yourself. You've been healing in silence, in private. You've been healing. You've been putting in the work. You've been meditating. You've been doing this. You've been cleansing. You've been detoxing. You've been doing this. So what is really happening is that you have been getting rid of the dead weight, the big old energy. You've been getting rid of this energy. But you see, the energy is gone, okay? Is why you feel that emptiness, because everything that used to define you previously, it no longer makes any sense. So the old energy has left. Now you're in the middle. You don't know, the new energy hasn't yet arrived, but you can feel the old energy has already left. That is where you start to feel that void, the emptiness. It is a very common feeling, and is why you see sometimes people when they're in that space during the void, people can be sometimes tempted. You know, you may be like, okay, so that thing that I used to do, it used to be very familiar. It used to be comfortable. Maybe I used to live in the family where there was abusive parents, but at least they used to eat. There was food to eat. There was this. There was comfort. It was toxic, but there was comfort. So now you've moved away from that unit for a little bit, and now you're starting to feel the emptiness, because now there's no family members to speak. There's no background noise. You are just is you. You know, you are out there working on yourself. You don't yet know exactly who is coming ahead. So I did a video a couple of years ago, and I called that video Soul Family and Blood Family. The real family and the soul family, they're different. The real family lives, and you meet the soul family. So it's going to be a kind of a warmer, or a little bit more like emotional, because these people that used to be your family, what I was trying to explain in that video, I made put a link in the description. So I was trying to say that the real family, yes, you have a lot of love and respect for them. But because you guys couldn't make it together, you was on different you was on different energies, and you realized that maybe they didn't do well with you. They didn't do right with you. So you let them go. Now you're in the middle. You haven't yet established the soul family is not yet there, but the real family is gone. That is what causes the void. The void can happen in so many scenarios in our life whereby you are in the middle between the old and the new. You are in the middle. You are neither in the old or in the new. You are just in the middle. You are neutral. You are expecting the new to come in. It hasn't arrived. But at the same time, you're no longer in the old space. So that is what causes the void. And the void can be a very confusing moment, confusing time to be. So it's what I've told you. Many people, what they do, they are like, okay, so this whole thing is getting too messed up. They don't know what is happening. So they readjust. So what they do, they get back to revisit the old because that is what was familiar. The new hasn't yet arrived and they are lonely, they are desperate and this, they don't know what to do. So that void is very confusing. And most of the times, an individual can be tempted to go back to the familiar. Is why sometimes you see a lot of individuals, for example, who have left narcissistic people. So you leave that relationship, okay, you've been out there a couple of weeks, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3, and you haven't yet met somebody new. So you're still in the void there, you're moving around, maybe somebody will come in, maybe not, you don't know what is happening. But you also understand why you have been is toxic. But at the same time, you're not thinking about going back to that toxic. But the new person hasn't yet come, so you're empty. That is what causes the emptiness. Many individuals experience emptiness after leaving a narcissist. You feel that void. There is something you cannot explain, you know? Is what I've told you some people what they do. They're like, okay, this is too hard and they don't know what to do with it. So they go back and revisit the ex-narcissist and they get back into that toxic relationship because of the void. The void is a very, for a lot of you guys who have been through the void, you know, is a very tough experience to be. It's a very hard place to be, you know. It is something you cannot explain to anybody. Many people feel that emptiness. It is something empty within you. You know, you don't know exactly what to do with yourself. It's very confusing. Sometimes you're very frustrated. But I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen, if you keep on doing the work, the void is supposed to be, it is a stage. So when you reach that stage of the void, you shouldn't gaslight yourself that anything is going wrong. You're supposed to have the confirmation that everything is okay. You just need to understand you are between two worlds. You're between the old and new. The new hasn't been birthed yet, but the old has also gone. That is what causes the emptiness within you, so that now you can be able to evolve. But when you keep on following the right path and doing the work on yourself and keep on going, you hold on a little bit longer. You're going to start creating that path and step into that newer version of yourself. So don't get very concerned. Okay? Don't get very concerned when you start feeling that emptiness. It's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no problem. Don't try to think you're doing anything wrong or maybe this and that. Don't be tempted to go back to the old because the old is going to be the old and you left the old for a reason. You're trying to move into the new. So don't try to get it twisted and get it confused and think you should have stayed in the familiar because the familiar is exactly what was the toxic situation for you. So I don't know how many guys of you have been or are currently in that void. Understand it is a stage. It is a stage that everybody goes through during the process of evolution. It is very lonely. It is very quiet. It is too empty. It can be sometimes even depressing. It's where sometimes people may start going through depression, you know, every now and then, you know, because they don't know what to do with themselves. But when you hang on a little bit longer, ladies and gentlemen, you're eventually going to arrive to where you want to be. Let us know what you think about the video. You always know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you'll find it in the description below. And until then, I'll see you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.